There it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to abruptly end the video like that, but that happens a lot. We're staring at our flip phone. Aren't we cool? Aren't we cool? We're just like you, only we're not doing anything on this phone. We're just looking at a picture of a tree. That's all we're doing. But yeah, this is my favorite time. 3:33. It's half of 666. But God loves his threes. Does he not? I think that's why I have 3 tattoos and they're all circles. I've convinced myself that this is the reason. One of the prominent characteristics of people in the cluster A personality disorder spectrum is that we do this thing called ideas of reference, where we're always thinking that things mean other things. Now, in some ways, this can be really useful for us because, I do believe that everybody is this way to some extent. People tell themselves, like, oh, this means that, I was supposed to meet you, or I was supposed to experience this. And a lot of the time, I guess it's the whole, like, everything happens for a reason. You want to believe that God has a plan for you, all that. So I think that that's why people on the more schizophrenic spectrum, they, just get called crazy, and they typically are, like, very religious. Because we see correlations in a lot of different things, but sometimes those correlations are false. And sometimes we exaggerate because we want to believe things. I think that the main difference with me is that I don't really let myself get away with a lot of things that other people can get away with and, like, not really feel guilty about, Like, I don't want to be the type of person that just, like, makes excuses for my behavior, But I realize that I probably am to some extent. I don't want to be the type of person that, thinks that it's okay to just be this judgmental cunt, because I don't like that people have smartphones, or I don't like that people are on social media all the time, and I don't like that people have some unchecked personality disorder. I mean, what does it mean to be checked? Like, I don't agree with the checks. Anyway, I don't agree with the check people. I like the clipboard people. I don't agree with them. I looked into schizophrenia because my therapist, like, I was telling him things that he, thought sounded crazy. Like, when I was telling him about, like, adrenochrome and things like that. People that don't want to think about, horrific realities such as that, are going to call somebody schizophrenic, or they're going to think, oh, well, you're really, like, off your rocker, or whatever the fuck. And so, I actually got defensive when he said that, but then I looked it up and I was like, man, he's probably right about this. And I looked more into, like, the personality disorders in cluster A, and I felt like such an idiot because, I have more characteristics of, like, a schizotypal personality. And so it makes sense why I obsess about certain elements of culture and certain, defense mechanisms, disorders. It's like it's a curse. I always say this. It's a curse before it's a gift. So, like, the part of it's a gift. Keep in mind it was a curse first, and so it's not always going to be a gift. It's not always going to feel that way. And so, if it seems like, oh, I'm just, like, obsessing about how bad society is and everything, and, like, I can't not do that. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm a fucking comedian, and I've known since I was a kid that, like, there was something really important that I was eventually going to do. based off of my perspective, because I knew that I was really unique in the way that I looked at things. Because ever since I was, like, in elementary school, it was like, I just never trusted what I was told about anything. And I never understood why people believed history books. And I never understood why people trusted teachers, or, like, they, like you know, my feelings on the jabs and psychiatric medication and birth control and all that stuff. I don't understand, like, why you can't just figure it out on your own, you know? I think that it's a societal weakness. It's not just a personal weakness, because I think people don't, I mean, I'll give them a benefit of the doubt that they just don't know any better, and they're just going along to get along, and they're not bad people, but they're just, like I said, lame. Like, they don't question the narrative, or, like, the thing is, my parents, like, they're very, you know, sheep. Like, they do everything they're told to do. And honestly, like, there's a part of me that loves them for that, because it's just like, they're so simple, and it wouldn't even cross their mind that the CDC was lying. You know, it wouldn't even cross their mind that, like, people in the media could just be reading off of a script, you know? It didn't even cross their mind. And like, if, sorry, I'm agreeing with myself. In case you caught that, congratulations. Well, I think that people like me, or they vibe with me because, like, they understand my experience. But I think that they're also kind of horrified by it too, because they think that I'm just kind of wallowing, or, like, I accept things about myself that aren't conducive to my, like, happiness or whatever. It's true. It is. It's true. Like, any criticism that people give me is usually not off base. It's just, they still don't have to be me. So, like, your advice is futile, because you're not me. Like, no matter how much you might relate to me, you're not me. And no matter how much I relate to you, I'm not you. And I have no right to tell you what will make you happy, or what, I mean, the reason why I make the speculations that I make about social media is because the proof is in the pudding, and everybody that has a phone is a cup of pudding, whether they realize that shit or not, okay? So on a societal level, that is what I'm talking about. Once again, not talking about individuals, talking about society as a whole. I'm not anybody's therapist. And even if I was, I still don't know that person the way that they could only know themselves. Or, I rephrase, only they can know themselves. People can't know you the way that you can know you. And I think that that's another thing that kind of separates me from people, is that, like, I don't, like, I am lonely, but I choose to be lonely. Like, I'd rather be lonely, you know? Like, I would rather be with myself, because, like, it's literally painful to be around people for too long. Like, even with Judson, like, every time I talk to him, I'm like, man, I wish this could work out with you. But, like, neither one of us would let that happen, though, I'll tell you. Because in the beginning, he didn't want to do it, and then when I broke up with him, I was like, I can't do this, and I'm sorry that I'm the reason for this. It's my fault. It's all my fault. Always take blame. Always take blame. Well, because in some level, it probably is your fault. You know, on something. But then, you know, if you do that, like, later on, when people try to blame you for things that you know aren't your fault, you're going to be like, look, I've already blamed myself, and whatever you're blaming on me is actually not true, because I've already been you doing what you're trying to do. So, you know. But maybe I'm just another arrogant sack of shit, you know? Like, I always leave that option open, you know? Like, that's always a possibility. But should I get rid of this insurance? Well, I feel like all the hundreds of dollars that I've spent on it already are in vain if I do that. And I think that's another thing. That's the way that they get you. Like, through money. Like, they just fucking handcuff you to this idea that they're protecting you, or they're helping you. And so, like, you give money to this idea. This, like, say, you know how, like, they have those briefcases that you can handcuff to your wrist? Well, like, that's exactly, oh, that's good. That's a good joke. That's a good little metaphor. It's like, that's what it is. Like, that's what insurance is. And it's like you're just giving money to this briefcase and you can't even open it. You don't even have the key to open it. You know? But see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the correlations that I can make. Like, I'm so grateful for that. I think that that's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful gift that God has given me. And only I can open this gift the way that I'm opening it. And so, please don't feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for me just because I'm sad sometimes. And I mean, I don't feel sorry for myself because of this. I'm just fucking mad. I'm mad that the world is the way that the world is, you know? Because it involves my money that I shouldn't have been giving to them anyway. So that's my fault. It's my fault for trying to appease my mother, who wouldn't stop hounding me about getting insurance because she's a sheep. And she thinks, oh, well, they're going to do something good for you. All they've done is give me a fucking panic attack. So no, they're not doing shit for me. Actually, factually, literally, and figuratively. All right? So, anyway, I just hate disappointing people about stuff that I know is logical. So though the part of me that's like against like going along with the system, like, I know that that's the crazy part of me. And that's the part that really pisses people off, and they don't understand. They're like, why is it so hard for you to do these things? Like, I have no problem paying my electric bill or paying my water bill. You know why? Because I can flush the toilet. I can flush the toilet, and I can take a shower. And I use electricity, okay? So these bills are legit bills. They're actually taking care of me, all right? You see this? See this? Powered through electricity, motherfucker. That's right. So, I'm just saying, I don't mind paying for things where I actually get what I'm paying for. That's not the issue. The issue is paying for shit that they don't even do. It's like after I got in the accident where I totaled my car last summer, R.I.P. Fiona, we love you so much. We miss you. We miss you. We'll be driving you in the kingdom of heaven, we tell ourselves. Okay? Well, I had, prior to that accident, gotten some Aflac. Y'all know about Aflac? Aflac. The duck. Everybody knows about the duck. Okay? The most that I got from this purchase was a little miniature duck. Okay? Hold on. I'm actually gonna get it to prove that I'm not a liar. Okay? Paisley's gonna follow me because she thinks that I'm gonna give her some food. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Yep. Here she comes. Okay. Where's the little duck at? Oh, here it is. Okay? At least I got this. They didn't do shit for me. So I got this accident just like weeks later, right? And the whole purpose of Aflac is to cover expenses that the insurance company won't cover. And because I was only out for a week, because, I have to work and shit, because I have bills to pay still, well, Aflac did cover any of it. They said, oh, well, you have to be out for like 2 weeks, right? Well, the dude that got me this so-called, is it insurance? I really don't even know. Like, what is it? They just promise you money, okay? Give us some money so we can give you money. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like the fucking jabs, Just does not make sense. logically. But you're paying for services that they won't even give to you in your time of need. So why? Well, the dude that signed me up for this stuff, he lied to them and said that I was out for 2 weeks, and they still wouldn't cover it. So that's what I'm talking about. There's just no point. There's no point. You just take your chances and be hounded by bill collectors and go into bankruptcy. You know, it's like, I know people that are bankrupt, they're a lot happier because they're not stressed out about money all the time. And like, I know that sounds like a really stupid statement. I just realized how dumb it sounded. But I mean, they don't have to worry about it anymore, because it's like, when you just accept that, okay, I've lost everything, it's like, it's a lot easier. Like, you're free. You're free because you don't have to, like, be worried about that anymore, you know? Well, against my better judgment, I got this Aflac. It is cute, though. I believe it takes out like $20 in my check, so it's not really that much. But it's still like the point that, like, I'm paying for services that they don't even provide. But I didn't want to get this stuff, but I felt pressured. And I was like, well, I don't have health insurance, so I should get something. And then like a few weeks later that happened, and I was like, oh, thank God, like I just bought that stuff, so maybe that was an instinct. So I tricked myself, I gaslighted myself, and I said, oh, that's why you got it. Didn't do shit. So, I don't know, I'm just so mad. I'm so mad, like I've said, I've been saying this in recent videos, that like, whenever I take the advice of the sheep, I always regret it. Because I know better than that. I know that the system is here to screw us over. It's designed to make us think that it works, and all it does is doesn't. All it does is doesn't work. It never works. But like, why should I have to prove to you why I pay you like $300 a month? Why should I have to prove that to you? That you're going to help me out? It's like, literally, I've been going to see the doctor. I've seen I went and saw the bone and joint clinic twice. Once because of my knee, another time because of my back. And like, yeah, that's what these papers are for. That's why I got them confused. Because they're for 2 different dates. And they all want me to prove that I have an injury that's related to an accident or something else. You know, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I went to the doctor because I'm seeking a service because I need help. I'm paying you to help me, and you're not helping me. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, I'm already upset.